Good morning. Welcome to our second meditation entitled Self-Love, the Deepest Version of Self-Care. So in January, something's been coming up a lot for me this month recently, and that is to take care of our heart space, our emotional center, if you will. And so there are many different tools we have for doing this, but I have really been enjoying the new rose oil from doTERRA, and I'm not sure if you have it, and if you don't, that's fine. There are other options we'll talk about, but the rose roller bottle is incredibly powerful. And one of the things I'll say about it is rose historically in many different traditions is used for, centering techniques and also spiritual practices. So it's considered to have a very high vibration. So all plants have vibrations. Each essential oil has a vibration. And rose, I believe, is 570 megahertz. So it's the highest of all the plants. And so for this reason, it's a very powerful choice. It's also traditionally linked to the heart. So whether you're going to use geranium, which has similar properties, or rose, or if you don't have geranium, I'm going to suggest wild orange. So we're just going to start by applying the essential oil, and then I'll get into a little bit deeper into what we're going to focus on today. So whichever you choose, you can place it in the palm of the hand. I'll place a little bit in the palm of my hand, the rose. For inhaling, I'm also going to apply it across my jugular. So if you go to the bone behind the ear and go diagonally across your neck, you reach a very large artery. And then we're also going to apply this oil directly on the sternum, so right up and down in the middle of the chest. Great. So once that's applied, we're going to take some deep inhales of whichever you've chosen. As we start to feel your body relaxing slightly. So I chose this topic of self-love being such a deep foundational form of self-care. I came across several different quotes to share with you as well that might help set the stage for this. One of them is actually kind of funny. And that was something I read on Instagram. I thought it was hysterical. And it says, when you're in your own lane, there's no traffic. So how do we get in our own lane? What does that mean? Your own lane means being so grounded and rooted in yourself and your self-confidence that you're not even aware of obstacles, right? Doesn't that sound wonderful? So again, meditation and forms of centering and quieting your mind and starting to focus on a deeper place for you of resonance is a great tool to begin to understand what your lane is, how do I get there, and how do I return there? And ultimately, how can I live my life in my own lane, right? Not being pulled or tossed and turned around by other people's energy or lanes. Good. Now, I also wanted to talk about the foundation of meditation, which is how you sit. I sit up on a cushion. So I mentioned this in the first video, and I realized I did not explain what the sits bones are. When you're sitting, so if you're either sitting in a chair or if you're sitting on the floor with your legs crossed, if you rock back and forth, you'll begin to feel these little bony bits. Those are your sits bones. And so if you just start to ground the sits bones down into whatever you're sitting on, and gently lift the sternum. So imagine the collarbones, you're lifting from this place. And then you're gonna let your shoulders soften. So it's a bit of an oppositional stretch here. You're lifting the front of the chest and allowing the shoulders to be soft. And then we're floating the very crown, the very top of our head gently towards the sky while keeping the very back of our necks soft. So let's just feel what this feels like just for a minute, just this posture. So sits bones grounding down, the front of the chest, the collarbone area lifting to lengthen the spine. Crown of the head floating effortlessly to the sky. Shoulders softening away from your ears. The second most important foundational part of meditation is the breath. So now that we have the container, the posture, let's begin to add the breath. So what we're going to do is we're going to lengthen our breath. So you can gently close your eyes at this point if it feels comfortable to you. So you're going to lengthen your inhalation and your exhalation. See if you can slow it down to a count of 3 or 4 on your count. You can feel your side ribs and your back ribs expanding with this breath. Allowing yourself to be gently alert while maintaining a very comfortable posture. You can soften all the muscles on the face, especially around your eyes. So as we're meditating, I'm going to read another quote that I found to be applicable for this particular session. It's by Dr. Stephen Maraboli. When I accept myself, I am freed. When I accept myself, I am freed. Freed from the burden of needing anyone to accept me. Keeping the breath nice and long and smooth. Allowing the shoulders to soften away from the ears. I'll read it one more time. When I accept myself, I am freed. From the burden of needing anyone to accept me. If thoughts arise, simply acknowledge that they're there and let them pass. And refocus on your breath. Allowing your spine to lengthen while maintaining a very comfortable posture. I'm going to read another quote or focus from the wonderful Louise Hay. And this focus is on the heart. And the affirmation that Louise recommends for us is joy, joy, joy. I lovingly allow joy to flow through my mind and body and experience. I'll read that one more time. Joy, joy, joy. I lovingly allow joy to flow through my mind and body and experience. You can very gently begin to deepen your breath, lengthening your inhalations and matching your exhalations. And make some subtle movements with your body, maybe swaying your torso from side to side or moving your neck around as you start to bring yourself out of meditation. And I'm just going to look to see if there are any comments or questions, anything you guys want to bring up. Hi, Kate. Hi, Nora. So I hope this process has been helpful. I know that meditating in a group is very beneficial. You literally are cultivating a container for the collective meditation energy. And even though we were doing this virtually, I still can feel it, and I'm holding you all with me. So whether you are live with me in the mornings or you're doing this when you get home from work or whenever you're choosing to tune in, I'm very excited you've chosen to start to meditate or continue to meditate and just join us on the cleanse. please write to me if you have any questions or comments. And you can also follow me. I on Instagram, I'm Essential Bloom Wellness, and I post a lot of different tips for meditation there. So hope you have a wonderful day. It's been awesome being with you. The smell of the rose is so intoxicating, I can't even tell you. I hope you all can get rose at some point if you don't have it already. So nice to be with you guys. Have a wonderful day.